Good. So thank you everybody for jumping on tonight to spend time with us as we explore and discover the wonders of the Thermomix with some of my beautiful team leaders from the area. And we're going to be focusing on saving money and time because we know that that is really important to you guys. We hear it all the time. People are busy. People are needing to save money. And we know we can do that with the Thermomix. So we want to share some of our best tips with you guys tonight because we want to make a difference for you in your life with the Thermomix. For those that don't know me, my name's Jess Fabian and I have the honour of leading the South Australian branch. And I am joined tonight by some amazing team leaders and junior team leader in training as well. So they'll introduce themselves as we jump around from kitchen to kitchen, and we're going to discover some great recipes, but also some great tips as well along the way. Without further ado, we will jump over to the Flurio to see Tifini Davis and hear all about her beautiful garden that she's going to be using tonight with her cooking. Over to you, Tiff.
Hi everyone, I'm Tiffany, and as Jess said, I'm on a farm in the Fleurieu Peninsula, so only 8 minutes from Victor Harbour. And we have a garden that is full of cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, and zucchinis. So we just did another haul today, so I thought perfect thing for me to make tonight and show you on our lovely TM7 is a zucchini slice. So we're going to get started. I programmed this in for my week. So what you can do is you can choose what you're cooking tonight, and on the screen here, you can see the picture has shown up when I turn on my Thermomix. So I remember what we're cooking tonight and I don't get distracted. So we can press on our zucchini slice. And here is where you can have a look, see if you want to change the portion sizes, and have a look at all the ingredients to get them ready. So we're just going to press start. I've already preheated my oven. I've already got I'm going to cook mine tonight in these lovely silicone loaf tins that are on the mix shop. So they've got a metal frame, so they are firm, but then they're silicone in these parts. So I don't need to grease them. They just pop out nicely. And I also have them in muffins as well. So I'm going to have some little zucchini loaves and some little zucchini muffins to have in lunchboxes or frozen snacks. I'm going to leave out the cheese tonight, so I'm going to skip this step of grating the cheese, but that is something I love the Thermomix for. We did it last night with our pizzas. We grated the cheese. I'll still show you the grating in the zucchini. So we can chop to a small size in the zucchini in the bowl, or you could use your cutter and make sure you're on the grated setting and grate up your zucchini. So tonight we're just going to show you as per the recipe, but it is preference of texture. So some people prefer that one. I'm actually doubling this recipe. I've measured all my ingredients to be double because I know that it fits inside the bowl. So I'll just go far back enough to see, just adding my nice fresh zucchini. So as you can see here on the scales, zoom in so you can see. I'm not going to get to, when I get to 350, it'll tick it off. So I'll do it nice and even so we can get to that 350. So you can see the TM7's very clever. And when you get to that 350, it will automatically tick off my ingredient. And make that thing.
I love that feature, Tiff. It's so handy when you're whacking everything in and then you go to the fridge to get the next item. It's ticked it off and teared the scale for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's my favourite thing. I like that it remembers to do that so you don't forget that you've already added that ingredient in. So we're going to close this. And I know this is going to take a little bit longer because I've doubled the amount. So I'm just going to put a couple extra seconds on there on speed 4 for 6 seconds. So I just selected in this little area so that I could adjust that. and it's just unlocking. You can see the little padlock there. And then we can see that it's grated up our zucchini. So if you weren't happy with it, if you could see some really big chunks that you didn't like, you could do that again. I'm happy with it, so I'm just going to tip that out. And then we can go on to the next step. So you don't need to make sure it's super clean on this part because you're going to continue on chopping some onions. So we'll clear that out. Press next, transfer to a bowl. I've done that. We're going to put our onions in. So once again, it's asked for 1 onion. I'm adding 2 onions. I'm vegetarian, so I'm not adding the bacon. And then we're just going to close that and chop that for 3 seconds. Speed 5. It's chopped our onion. It's just going to ask us to scrape down the sides. So you've got a nice long-handled spatula. Might move it out a little bit. So you've got your nice long spatula and you just go around the outside. Make sure all that onion's down the bottom. That way it's going to cook. So now we'll pop it back on. I'm actually, because we haven't got the bacon in with it, I'm going to add a drizzle of oil in there. Let's open this up. Because the bacon would have oil to cook that onion in. And I know I've removed that oil, so that fat. So I've got to add another fat in there so that it will brown nicely. The picture's telling me to add my lid back on. So you're going to copy this picture and press play again. And then it's going to cook for 5 minutes at 120 degrees on speed 1. So you can see there.
I love that, Tiff. That onion chopping was so quick as well. We get a bit blasé, and don't we? Get a bit spoiled.
That's
So quick.
100 grams of zucchini chopped up, 2 onions chopped up, all in that time.
Wow. Imagine doing that by hand, like our grandmas used to with the
Breaking knuckles.
yeah, goodness.
So we can now I like to, what I do when I'm cooking a recipe like this, I would scroll down. I'll see if I can get closer with my screen. I would scroll down and see what I need to get ready next. So this would be when I would be cracking all my eggs. Get my eggs ready and get all your other ingredients ready. Now, while I'm on this step looking ahead, I have stopped and realized, look, I need rice flour, it says in the ingredients, but I don't have rice flour, I have rice. So luckily, I actually have a spare bowl here. So I can, once the cooking of the onion is done, I'm going to take that bowl off and I'm going to mill in some onions. Mill up some rice into rice flour. So I've got my bowl of rice here. I've weighed out my 200 grams of rice that I'm going to turn into rice flour. And just a tip, whenever you're milling something, make sure you put a few extra grams in because some will stick to the bowl and the lid, and so you will lose a little bit. So that's what we're going to use our nice, clean, dry bowl to do. And at the moment, we have a special offer where if you buy a beautiful TM7, you can add on a spare bowl for $199. They're usually worth close to $400, the spare bowls. So you're getting it at a bargain price and they're not actually available to purchase yet. So you're being able to get the first delivery that we will get in June. So end of May, June delivery. You'll get your TM7 straight away, but your spare bowl will come in time when they arrive on the ship over from Germany.
That'll make it so handy, so you wouldn't have to drive to the shops and go buy some rice flour or
Chip
anything
out
else.
my onions and clean and dry the bowl.
Yeah.
I can just lift my spare bowl on.
We'd love to know who, if you are able to type in the chat, pop in the comments, which Thermomix are you using at the moment? We'd love to know.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. So some people might have older models, or some people might have the TM7. Now, if you've already purchased your TM7 and you're like, damn, that sounds like a really good deal, I wish I got the spare bowl, ask your consultant if they would like to come over to your place for a cook next month. Invite 2 friends to come as well. And this spare bowl will be in the Host Reward catalogue for a discount. So you can also get your hands on it before it's going to be available in the mix shop. So that's another way to get a discounted bowl. So if you've missed out and you've already purchased, that's a great way to get it. If you haven't missed out and you're thinking about purchasing, this is our most sought after offer. So just so you know, we have been asked since February when it was released, and then since May when they could purchase, when the spare bowl is coming, and we weren't too sure, and now it's trickling in. It's coming in first as an offer with the TM7 and then as a host reward, and then it will be available on the mix shop for everyone.
Yeah. And Tiff, that's right. We're finally getting it available for customers, but consultants have had a chance to earn their own already, haven't they? So,
Yeah, as a consultant, we get to earn things like this ahead of everyone else. So if you do already have a TM7 or you're thinking about getting one, it's a great payment option to come on board and earn one. Or if you have it already, you can start earning your spare bowl. 3 sales by the 13th of April will get you a spare bowl as a consultant.
incredible. We always get access to new things first. And Morgan wrote earlier when you were talking about the cutter, Tiff,
Yeah.
for people that do want to know more about the cutter, or perhaps you want to see it in action or grab one for yourself, it's actually a host reward at the moment as well, isn't it?
It is. So you can get a discount just for having 2 people over, and a further discount if one of those people decide to invest in a TM7. So our onions are sauteed. Now it's going to ask me to add the rest of our delicious ingredients. So as you can see, this was not the high heat. It was the 120, not the 160. So they are just soft. They are not browned. We don't want browned ones in the zucchini slice. So they're just nice and soft, which is perfect. But if I did want that, I could go out and select high heat and choose to brown them off myself. So what I'm going to do is lift that bowl off, like I said, before I add our next ingredients. I'm just going to lift my nice clean bowl on. I'm going to tip my 200 grams of rice in. So when you're milling things, around the 200-300 gram mark is the best way to mill something. If you are going to put in a lot less, it won't hit the blades in the same way and get ground down. So I'm just going to go back into our home, into our modes, and select down here. I'm just going to select the manual mode. So you can get to that on the home screen as well if you choose this setting. You just press the manual mode. And it took me about 10 seconds to do it last time. You can do it on turbo as well, but I prefer the speed 10. Pop our lid on, and then we can press play. You can see it's coming out.
Very powerful blades. Zoom is cutting the sound. However, the insulated bowl does cut some of the sound, but of course, you'll still be able to hear those ingredients getting milled down. But we will hear from our beautiful presenters a bit about the silent motor later on, for sure. Wow.
Okay. You can see it all dust out. So that's how thin it is. Beautiful rice
Amazing.
flour, already milled.
Incredible. There is savings there already. And I know that if you wanted to mill down things like chickpeas and brown rice, or maybe you choose organic rices, you are able to have that choice of ingredients and save a lot of money there, especially if it's a specialty item that you're milling.
Yeah, exactly. So because I went out of our recipe, I just showed you, I went to the little control panel at the top to find the zucchini slice again and clicked there, and it brought us back to our eggs. So that's what step we're up to. Now these eggs are all from my neighbours, so they're all nice and fresh. Obviously, eggs can be more expensive, but if you can find them from someone who already has chickens and lays eggs, you'll be able to find them for cheaper, and they're a lot better tasting as well. It's healthier for you. So now we're going to add our rice flour. I'm going to tick off those eggs. Remember, I want 200 grams, so I'm going to go over what it says, but that's because I'm doubling this recipe. So I'm just going to pour it straight out of my spare bowl.
Now, this is such a cost-effective dish because you've used your own homegrown zucchinis, but even for people that are purchasing the zucchinis and the eggs, it's still a really cost-effective protein and healthy filled snack or dinner, isn't it? You use them in your kids' lunch boxes, don't you, Tiff?
Yeah, that's why I put them in the loaf and the muffin tin. I'm just adding a pinch of salt. Sometimes I'll even add a bit of veggie stock paste to this dish instead of the salt.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got some Celtic sea salt, which I like getting into the kids. It's a really healthy salt that you can find in the shops. But yeah, it is. It's a really good lunchbox filler. So we actually have some for tomorrow for lunch, but this will make enough for, if I don't eat them all for my dinner tonight, this will make enough for about 6 lunches. So I will freeze them and pour them out.
Incredible. And I can see there's no like locking arms like the previous models. It's just the bowls on top there, isn't it?
Yeah. So the bowl is locked in by magnets when it gets locked in. So this little plastic section swivels and keeps your lid locked in, and there's a plastic swivel section down the bottom that locks in and holds on. So it's still safe. It's quicker to open than the TM6 and TM5. And you don't have the hindrance of all that extra area. You've got such a small Thermomix to pack away or take in your car.
Yeah. Love it.
So we're just tipping our zucchinis into our bowl.
And you could even whiz up some capsicum or carrot as well, couldn't you?
Yeah, sometimes I'll add in some cherry tomatoes as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just get all that in there. I'm just going to show you. This is the double mixture minus the cheese. So it is quite high.
Yeah.
But you can fit the cheese in there as well. If you want to do the double mixture with the cheese, it still fits. Because we're not cooking and it's not going to bubble over, we're just mixing. I'm happy to fit it all in there.
Yeah.
So now we're just going to add 80 grams of olive oil. So I'm going to do the 160.
Yeah. I used to do this one a lot when I had a lot of zucchinis as well. And yeah, it just fits in that double batch. And yeah, work smarter, use the oven once and save some more money there as well. The 1 gram increments are very handy on those scales, I can see.
Yes, they're very precise. And then we're just going to combine the mixture all together, speed 6, and it's reversing. So you can see here, I'm going to zoom in on the screen again a little bit. So inside the speed section, it has a little reverse section. You can change it back to blend or reverse. So because we're in a guided recipe, it's chosen that for me. So that's going to mix all our mixture up. And then I can pour it into here.
Beautiful. Now, so this is a very handy lunchbox or dinner option. Very cost effective there. Beautiful and so easy and quick with the Thermomix, Tiff.
Yes. So there's another new thing coming that consultants are actually earning this month, and it is a batter dispenser. So we have the old cupcake pen, and we're getting a new version on the mix shop called a batter dispenser, and it's a bit shorter and wider, and it has a little valve on top. But I actually use this to fill my muffin and loaf tins with the mixture. So I'll pour it in there and then dispense it out and pop it in the oven.
Excellent. Thanks, Tiff. We will we'll
So
look
40 minutes of cooking time. I'll show you when we're done how lovely and golden the zucchini slice gets and fluffy.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. And I'm going to jump over to the Eyre Peninsula. We're going to see Jaime Pieck whipping up a storm or cooking up a storm. And she is making some cost-effective lunchbox items as well. Could be even dinner too, couldn't it, Jamie?
Hello. Yes, actually will be my dinner tonight. We had a bit of cold weather and rain here yesterday on the EP, so I made some soup last night.
Oh, good.
And so leftovers for tea, but also I am making our cheese and bacon scrolls. So I've already made our dough, and that has just been sitting in my bowl proving, and it is
Ooh.
already ready to go. But I'm going to show you my little tips and tricks on how we can roll those. But we also need our cheese and our bacon. So I can see on my recipe here, if I scroll down, I can see that I'm going to need some diced bacon and some grated cheddar cheese. So I've portioned them out today. And of course, the beauty of being at home means we can make as much cheese and bacon on top as we like. So I am going to quickly put on my second bowl. It's nice and clean and ready. Now this recipe already asks you to have it pre-grated. So I'm going to get out of my recipe and I'm going to go over to my modes and I'm looking for chop. So if I swipe up, I'm going to chop some cheese. Now my little tip and trick here is we're going to grate it and we're going to use a hard cheese. We're going to do about 150 to 300 grams. I put my bacon and my cheese in at the same time, straight in there, because as it chops, it's going to mix it all. So it's a nice mixture to pop onto my buns. So I'm quickly going to pop my lid back on. And I'm just going to have to press play. I don't need to preset any time or any chopping settings. It's going to do it automatically for me. So it's wanting me to put my lid back on properly. There we go. And tick. Here we go. And it is going to take 7 seconds on speed 7. So I'm just going to press play.
Awesome. I love those pre-selected chop mode in there. So handy if you're not quite sure, well, how long should I chop this for? So this is super handy to have that pre-built into the Thermomix.
It is. It's the best, especially I think you can pre-build your steaming functions in there too, but that has chopped those big chunks
Wow.
really nicely. You can also double this step. I'm going to swap you over to my bench now and show you how I roll my buns. But there we go. I hope you can still see.
Yep.
Beautiful. So the beauty of this one is you can put as much or as little as you like onto your buns, but this is my dough. It's been proving for about an hour, I guess. I didn't have to get it out the bowl. I didn't have to make anything else dirty. No dirty dishes. All in one. Amazing. Now, if you didn't already know,
perfect.
it's beautiful and perfect. This little bottom of your spatula helps you to release the dough off the blade, especially if you've let it prove in the bowl. It's going to be a little bit sticky, so I can feel that it's slowly releasing now.
And making doughs in our Thermomix is going to help us save a bunch of money, bunch of dough.
A bunch of dough, saving dough, making dough. I love it.
We've been doing the Portuguese bread, and that must cost, I don't know, maybe $1 of ingredients, and it saves us from buying, you know, sourdough for $9 a loaf or something. And it comes out so well.
I call that one my cheats sourdough because
Yes.
it's like a cheat sourdough without the fuss. You don't have to feed a starter. You don't have to worry about all the extra bits and pieces. It's very forgiving, and I love it.
Yeah.
But half of my dough has got stuck because I've left it on. Normally, I would show you a flick trick where if you have dough stuck on your blade, pop it back onto your bowl, turn it onto turbo for a couple of seconds, and it will flick the rest of the dough up to the sides of your bowl so that you can get it all out. That bowl can get cleaned. Now, I'm going to it's meant to make 12, but the beauty of this, if you have a silicone mat, you can make them as big as you want. My kids won't eat a full-sized roll, so I often make this into 24. I'm not going to roll them all out because it will take a little while, but I'm just going to start cutting my dough. If you haven't got a dough mat, I highly recommend this ripper from our mix shop. It is amazing. It can go in the oven. It has some guides on here for if you're needing to roll out pizzas and all of that kind of thing. It has some centimeter guides down the side if you're needing that, and it can go in the oven. I often don't put mine in the oven. They just don't look as white and as nice after they've been in the oven. So I like to keep one that looks nice and ready to go. Right, so I'm just going to roughly chop up my little dough balls into chunks. I won't show you all of them. We'll just make a few. And how I roll them. A lot of people are too scared to have a go, but I find this rolling out dough quite therapeutic. So my trick is I get my little dough, I flatten it down. If your hands are a bit sticky, I recommend a spray oil. And I just oil my hands a little bit, and I've oiled my mat. You don't need to oil your mat, it just makes it easy to work with. So I just flatten my dough, and then I pick it up and I start to fold it over on itself, like so. So then you've got a little ball. Then I flip it, seam side down, and I cup my hand like this. And then I start to roll it around on itself. That way then you will have a perfect little ball ready to make your rolls. So these will need another proof. But again, so keep it flat, start folding it over itself. So don't be scared about flattening them. That's just how it does its thing, and it's going to prove again anyway. Flip it over and roll it around. So you will get some perfect little balls. Now, my next tip, the recipe also asks you for an egg, but we had some egg shortages a while back, so I don't even think you need it. All I do is I get a pair of my kitchen scissors and I make a little snip on the top of my buns, like so. Then I'll put them on my oven tray, also it on the mix shop. I will put them all on there together and I'll keep them close. I want them touching. So then I get my cheese and my bacon and I just press that down on top of my buns. And I'll keep doing that the whole way through until I've got all my buns done. They then have to sit for another, I think it's another half hour or so, depending on your kitchen, to puff up a little bit, and then they just bake for 15 to 20 minutes. But the reason I love this one, if you can find ham, even Christmas ham, I love to take all the meat off of the bone and then I shred that in my Thermomix and I portion it out and freeze it. So then I can just pull it out for things like fried rice, pasta sauces, all of that kind of thing. I always have some diced and frozen ready to go pizza night. So if you can see that at your Woolies or your Coles or your supermarket for cheap, you can then also keep the bone and use that for stocks and for soups. So again, we're saving money. We're not wasting anything or any ingredients. Everything's being used. I also love the fact that when I am time poor, I will skip to the step of doing the grating the cheese and the bacon, and I'll do, say, a double batch, sometimes a quadruple batch, and I'll freeze them in portions so that when I'm time poor during the week, all I have to do is make the dough, get my cheese and bacon mix out of the freezer, ready to go in sandwich bags, and pop it on. It just makes it so much quicker. I can bake fresh rolls for the family. They are also beautiful from frozen. You can freeze them up, get them out in lunch boxes, and they're absolutely beautiful the next day. But we did a little bit of a Google search and a little bit of a geek with figures, and I wanted to talk about just how much money you can save making these rolls. So this batch I'll probably get 24 out of versus I made a batch earlier because I don't have time to show you all, but this is how they come out. They are absolutely beautiful. There are 12 there. They're still a really good size. I'll pull one apart. They've been sitting there for a little while now. Have been wanting to eat them all day. They are the fluffiest little buns. Absolutely beautiful. They've got no preservatives in them. I know exactly what's in it. I know exactly what I'm feeding my kids. And they are super, super yummy. But so I've got 12 there. If I was to buy 12 from Woolies or Baker's Delight, to make them is about $7 for 12, so about 60 cents per roll. If I was to buy at Woolies or Coles, it'd be $1.10 to $1.50 per roll. So that's about between $13 and $18 for 12. So that's saving $6 to $10 each batch. So say you were to make 2 batches a week for lunches, depending on how many kids you've got in your family. Some kids, all they want to eat is these bacon and cheese rolls. If you were to make them yourself, you could be saving potentially $20 a week, and that's part of your repayment with Zip. Zip Money is 24 months interest free. It is an amazing finance option for people that don't have the funds straight up to buy, because repayments are dependent on each person, but roughly between $20 and $30 a week. Depending on your individual circumstances, obviously. But you can then set the repayments yourself. It comes with an app. You download the app. You can decide if you get some extra money, you can pay it off sooner. So you're not penalised for paying things off early, which I really, really like about Zip. So awesome, awesome option. But if you were even just saving money with this, is going to save part of your repayment plan back for your finance. But I think that's roughly it from me, Jess. I think I'll just continue on
I love that. Yeah, thank you for sharing those
with my
savings.
rolling.
And that's just one
That's
item.
just one thing.
Yeah,
Even if you were to save just buying blocks of cheese, it's ridiculous. One block of cheese, I think, was, I don't know now, $9 to $10. If you were to buy that grated, pre-grated, it costs you ridiculous amounts of money. And these rolls aren't even the bakery ones. If you were to get a beautiful bakery one at a little country bakery, they're going to be even more expensive than that. So that's the bare minimum of what you're saving just in bread and rolls for your kids is huge. You've got nothing in them. It's literally flour, salt, yeast, and all of that I buy in bulk when it's on special. I'll stock up and I can be ahead of the game. I can have rolls in the freezer ready to go. I can have bread in the freezer ready to go, and I'll just whip it out as I need. It goes, it doesn't last as long. It goes a bit more stale quicker because it's not full of crap. It makes it so much better for your body, so much better for your kids, and you can, be in control of what's in it. So
that's it. You can choose what type of ingredients you put in.
Exactly.
Lovely. And popping them in the freezer, like you said, means that they will stay fresh. We're going to jump over to see Tennille over in the Riverlands now. We've got a mixture of lovely team leaders and consultants presenting. So let's jump and we'll see you at the end for yours. Jamie, oops, just a sec. I just lost you.
Hello,
Tennille.
everybody. If I talk does it show you where I am?
Yeah, there you are. Had you, and then it went, there we go.
Hello, how is everybody tonight? I'll just jump right in. I am cooking risotto. Risotto is a fan favorite in our house. We cook it quite often. It is very cost effective, super delicious. And yeah, I'm just going to get going. I have already done the first step, the first couple of steps. So with the risotto, you often at the beginning of the recipe, there will be a grating parmesan right at the start, and then that will call for you to then wash and dry your bowl. So I cannot wait for my second bowl to arrive so that I can quickly just whip on my next bowl and continue, and then clean both of them later. But for right now, I try and actually keep some pre-done Parmesan cheese in our fridge all the time, ready to go, that I do myself. I don't buy grated Parmesan ever, always buy it in a block. And then I grate up quite a decent amount purely because we actually have risotto often in our household because it's very cost effective and delicious. So I've already put my onions, garlic, and olive oil in and done that first step. So I'm just going to show you guys here. So I used a whole onion and I also used 3 garlic cloves. Again, we love onion and garlic in this house. And then the Thermomix sauteed that, and now we are up to the steps where I'm going to be adding the rice, the next ingredients. So I'm just going to show you here as we go. So if you don't already have a TM7, you can see here that on the screen we've got the mock Thermomix image here, and you can, as you add, it will show you, and it can actually fill, see how it's filling with the green line there? I think that's really handy. I think it's super user friendly because not everyone's great with numbers and measurements. And so it also gives people who are a lot more visual that inclusivity when it comes to cooking. My kids actually cook risottos and pastas in this TM7 by themselves quite often, and they're only 7 and 8 years old. So that
That's wonderful, isn't it? I love that
yeah,
story.
it
Yeah.
shows how user friendly it is, and how easy it is to follow the steps, I think. And another thing I'm doing is I'm actually using tinned tomatoes for this step because I don't have ripe tomatoes, and I also find that I always keep tinned tomatoes in my pantry. Again, it's cost effective. They don't go moldy. Often I find I don't have a beautiful garden full of tomatoes. So I sometimes find when I do buy them, I don't use them in time. So I like to have tinned ones ready to go. And it's using the Thermomix, you can substitute. So as you guys saw then, it ticked it for me, and we're up to the next step, and we're going to just press play, and it's going to begin to cook. Now, if anyone has cooked a risotto on the stovetop, you know how frustrating it can be to stand there and follow the process of adding the liquid, stirring until it evaporates, adding the liquid, stirring till it evaporates. Making risotto in your Thermomix is so simple and so easy, and it's impressive, and it works every single time. One of the big things that we do at the end of a risotto is we put it into our thermal server, and then you let it sit for roughly 5 minutes. I often make ours well in advance and let it sit on our dining table, because the thermoserver keeps it hot, not cold, hot for hours. So, and at the moment, if you host a demo in March, so between now and the end of March, you actually get one of these for free if you have a qualifying demo. So a qualifying demo is you and 2 guests who don't live with you. So you can get a neighbour, you can get a friend from down the road, you can ask someone that you see at the coffee shop all the time. Yeah, think outside the box. It's a great way to share a meal with people and gather that community in person again. So yeah, once your risotto is cooked, definitely recommend getting one of these thermal servers to put it in and let it sit and give it 5-10 minutes, and it will be perfection.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing about the thermosaver. It's so handy. Now I notice it's a bit of a different design. Do you want to hold that up? Because
Yes.
this is a TM7, the latest thermosaver. It's 2.7 liters, which is our biggest one yet. It's a beautiful shape there. So you can actually collect as many as you want, and they stack up. So
I can show you how they stack because I've got 2.
ooh, I haven't got 2. I need another one. There we go.
So they sit on, and we use them all the time. So we have sport at the moment, it's 3 nights a week. But next month it's 5 nights a week, and I cook our dinners and take them with us everywhere we go. And the other thing about the new design, if you haven't seen it, is it comes with these, I don't know, I guess it's a strap, and it holds the lid on in place. So, and it's a non-slip. So when I put it in my car and travel with it, it doesn't end up all over the shop. So
I love that, Tennille, and that's such a cost saver to take the food with you, because how expensive is food when you try and buy it out? And especially when you go to sports games, you're going to get pretty gross food anyway, aren't you? So I love that you're taking your own food. We used to do that as well. When I'd go out with my daughter and her friends, I'd feed them all instead of them wanting to get takeaway food. So it worked really well. And having that strap means you're not going to end up with your bolognese like all over your car. So I love that, Neil. Thanks.
yeah. So I'll just show you after the original like the first saute that it does. So it's now got our tomatoes and our rice and the garlic and onion and the olive oil. You can imagine how delicious this is smelling.
Beautiful. It's such a simple, delicious one. I really love this risotto too.
Yeah, it's so good. And the other thing I do want to add is you actually, with the risottos, don't be afraid to have a play and add some things that you absolutely love or take some things out that you don't love. That's the beauty again of the Thermomix. And also, I guess, with cost saving as well, is you can choose the things that are on special and mix and match. You don't have to, be doing it the perfect recipe every time.
That's so true. And that's what COVID really taught us. I remember really wanting to follow the recipe, especially if I was showcasing it to a customer or in a class. And then COVID hit, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to make my risotto with capsicum instead of mushrooms. It's fine. Using whatever we've got is really going to be saving money and avoiding waste as well, isn't it? I love
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
Thank you, Tennille. So
Thank
that's going
you.
to cook for another minute, and then should we
Yeah, and
jump? We might jump over to see some desserts and
yeah,
come back,
yeah.
unless you've got more to share with us.
No, that's I've shared. That's all. There's 20 seconds to go before the next few steps. Yeah.
Or alrighty. Well, let's have a look at that. What is the next steps? Can you just walk us
Oh,
through
yeah.
those next steps then?
So
And
that's the other thing with the TM7, if you don't have one, is you can use the screen and just literally slide your finger and it will show you what those next steps are. So that's what I generally do that. I'm just going to press next and it'll take me through anyways.
yeah.
But it can show you, so you don't have to just stand there waiting around for the next step. You actually can just have it ready to go. So I've got boiled water here ready to go, and as we can see, the scales there are going up. Overdo it.
That's going to save time too. Having that boiled water,
Makes
excellent.
it, yes, makes it even quicker. Okay, and then it's asking actually for a stock cube, which I find interesting because I've not used stock cubes ever since I've had my Thermomix, because I use the stock paste that we make ourselves.
Yeah.
So it also says the option there for either a stock cube or the stock veggie stock paste. Highly recommend, if you have a Thermomix and you're not making your stock, that's another way to save your money, because
Definitely.
yeah, it gives you so much more bang for your buck, and it tastes better. So why not?
Exactly. And it definitely, as you said, it saves so much money and you're avoiding waste. That's one thing we really recommend you do. Take up the option of having that guided customer journey with your consultant, and they will walk you through how to make your veggie stock paste as well as part of your new Thermomix. So, wow, you've done that. That's going to be ready after that 12-minute cook, isn't it? And you'll be able to enjoy that with Jamie's cheesy rolls.
Yes, absolutely. Jamie's cheesy rolls made me think I should cook some of them after this for school lunches.
Beautiful. And Jamie's going to be enjoying soup. So I'm curious what flavor soup she's got. That's another cost saver. Thank you,
Yeah.
Tennille. We are going to
Thank
go
you.
we're going to have some dessert next with Morgan and her little helper over on the Eyre Peninsula.
Hello, everybody. My name's Morgan McDonald. I am a Thermomix consultant and team leader in beautiful Little Cummins on the Eyre Peninsula. And this is my little helper tonight because she's had a little danger nap after school. So tonight I would just love to show you one of my favorites at the moment. I am doing a Money Saver March campaign because I am very passionate about how this machine can help us save money in the kitchen and also time. So a massive thing in our house, and what I'm going to walk you through tonight, I've got a little bit of a video. We're going to do some lamingtons because these are a favourite in our household. Now, the lamington recipe you will find on Cookie Do. It does say that you can use a packet cake mix for this recipe, but why would you when you've got a Thermomix? It is so easy to make a sponge cake. So if you want to share in the chat, I use the Victoria sponge cake on Cookie Dough, and I'm just going to share screen. I've done a video, apologies, it is not perfect, but that is another great thing about anyone can be a Thermomix consultant. You do not have to be perfect to start. So I'm just going to share my screen, show you the video of doing the Victoria sponge. Oh, I better share sound as well, actually.
Why don't you?
2 secs.
I love that you make lamingtons regularly. Thanks so much, because some people find that they need tips on making sponge cakes, so this will be great.
So here we go. I'm just going to press play. It's a really quick video.
Of course, there's no internet connection today when I want to show you how to do the Victoria sponge, but have no fear, I'm going to show you another trick. Go into the bookmarks, and I've found it in my recently cooked, and because you've recently cooked it, it's still going to allow you to get making. Yay! Everything out ready to go. Preheat our oven. Next. Grease our tin. Next. All right, let's go.
Wow. That the chopstick.
Now, with this Victoria sponge, I just use a lamington tray. So we remove the butterfly whisk and scrape all of that into the lamington tray, and this size just seems to work a treat.
Yeah.
And then when you cut your squares out, they're a nice shape, and it saves using 2 trays. Just another little tip as well. Remember, when you are getting your mixtures from your bowl, always go anti-clockwise to protect your spatula from getting damaged by the blades. Okay, it can get those blades are very sharp, remember? So scrape anti-clockwise and you should be fine. Now you can pre-clean your bowl, and it says to cook for 25 to 30 minutes. All right, so I'm just going to show you 25 to 35 minutes cook time. I'm currently pre-cleaning the bowl, but also I have the timer going in the background as well. So you can be doing a couple things at once, or you don't have to clean your bowl. You can go straight on to the next step. If you have the second bowl, blade and lid set, you can continue on. Maybe you need to get dinner sorted, your other bowl's dirty, or you might have forgot to mill your caster sugar when you needed caster sugar for your sponge cake. So it's one of those things this is one thing I don't buy anymore, is caster sugar or icing sugar. 3 seconds, speed 9, and you've got caster sugar. I just buy raw sugar now. So another great reason you need a second bowl, blade and lid set. And remember, the way you can get that right now is to order your machine, and you can get it for just $199 with your purchase of your TM7. Or if you already have your Thermomix, don't forget to phone your consultant, give them a message, book those demos in, those learning demos for April, because you'll be able to score the second bowl, blade and lid set at a lovely reduced cost. So get those demos locked in. You can never have too many. You always learn something new with your consultant.
Wow, that looks incredible so far.
So it really is so easy. And what Bella and I are going to show you now is this is our sponge all done. Now you can prep these ahead of time as well. I did these yesterday or the day before. These have been sitting in the freezer. And to be completely honest with you, they are even better to coat when they are frozen because there's less crumbage going into your chocolate. But here's our chocolate mixture. Okay, so I just scoop that into a little container because I don't want to be dipping things in and around the bowl blade. So we just scrape our mixture into there. It really is so simple. And to be completely honest with you, I did not want to make these because I thought they would be so fiddly, but now we do them all the time. They freeze beautifully for lunch boxes. And let's just have a little chat around the savings that your Lamingtons can help at home by making at home. Sorry, I'm getting very distracted because she's very eager to help. So at the supermarket, for example, we pay around $4 to $6 for a small pack of Lamingtons, right? And there's maybe only 6 in a packet. I just want to show you in this container, I have 14 in here. And I've done a little bit of girl math because math was not my biggest favourite thing at school, not going to lie. But with my little bit of girl math, you just saw what went into that sponge. It's pretty much pantry staples, okay? Not very many ingredients. And this is made, you can even make those bits smaller, okay? So you could get 14 or 16 out of it. Now, all up, this has cost me $5 to $6, so similar price. But also, you know, again, you're packing lunch boxes, say 5 days a week. This difference stacks up fast. And also what I love about making them at home, you know, you are in control of what goes in them. There's no preservatives. We can control the sugar amount that goes in. We can make the bigger portions, as I explained. They are freezer friendly. And like you're seeing here right now, the kids get involved, which generally makes them even more likely to eat it, if we are completely honest. So this is really about stretching the dollars without feeling like you're sacrificing the fun stuff, right? Now, I'm going to show you first, Bella, and then you can get involved. So I've got a little pair of tongs. I simply dip. Can you see all right?
Yep, that's better. That's great.
And you just sort of throw it around so you can imagine the kids have so much fun doing this, don't you? And what's your favourite thing to do with this, Bella? Bella's a chocoholic, so yeah. And then I've just got another container of the coconut and you just sprinkle it all over, drizzle it around in there, and you don't have to get it perfect. What is perfect?
Wow.
How easy is that? Who's had Lamingtons before?
That looks perfect.
Wow. Now, my question is, because I've only made these once or twice and I was doing gluten-free, so it was a little fiddly. My question is, where are you putting them next to sort of sit? Like once you've made that, do they go on just a normal tray and sit there?
Yeah, great question. So I just have a bit of baking paper on my kitchen bench and they'll just sit there, and then once this container has all been used up, they'll all go back into here, and I store them in the fridge because they are gone in a couple of days. We are a family of 5 and everyone loves these Lamingtons.
Wow. Thank you so much, Morgan, and your little helper showing us how easy it is to make those. I'm going to have another go and see how we go. And I guess if you don't eat them all quickly, you can freeze them, but they'd also go really nice with custard or something, wouldn't they? If they did last a bit longer and needed eating up. Yeah, because they don't have those preservatives in them and the long list of ingredients. I love that. Thanks, Morgs, for sharing that. Any last things before we jump over to see Kimberley's dessert as well?
I think that is all from me. I was going to say a little bit about the sensor. So if you aren't great at, You know, yes, your Thermomix can make your mixture, but then you've got to put it in the oven and you're not quite sure when your cake is ready. This has been a game changer for me. And again, it is in our host reward catalogue. You can get at a discounted price. So it does help be able to check the temperature of not just your cakes, but also your meats. And also, like Jamie showed us earlier, whenever you make doughs as well, it gets the perfect temperature. Bluetooth connects to your TM7 and to your phone as well. So you are going to get the perfect foods every time. Takes the guesswork out.
I love that.
From me.
I love that. Thank you. And we can hear more about your tips and everyone's tips over in our Facebook community group. So I'll pop that in the link, but also I'll email everybody after the class. So you can share pictures of what you've created. Maybe you make some lamingtons as well. And we'll continue to put our saving tips in there as well from our business pages. We'll share in there so we can help each other to save money at this time and also save time. But let's take a little look at chocolate and melting chocolate because Morgs, your chocolate, you melted beautifully in your Thermomix, and we're going to see how we do that with Kimberley next. Thank you. Let's have a little look.
Hi guys, today I wanted to try a new recipe and I thought I would try it with you guys for the first time. It's called chocolate and peanut protein bomb. So this is a new one to Cookie Do, and it's actually going to use a new accessory for the TM7, the Thermomix Nester. So I thought I'll give that a try, but also we're going to be using 2 bowls to show how easy it is, you know, to have that second bowl and how handy it is. All right, so getting started, I've got my recipe here and I'm just going to press start. Okay, so place 80 grams of roasted unsalted peanuts, which I've pre-weighed here, into the bowl and go next. So I'm going to chop for 3 seconds on speed 6. So the lid goes on and the digital twin here notices that the lid's on and I press play. Okay, we need to transfer those back into a dish, but you can see in 3 seconds we have got some nicely crushed peanuts, which I'm getting all over my cupboard now. There we go. And just give that a little twist there, get the little bits out. Beautiful. So there's still a bit in there, but that is okay. All right, pop them aside. Now we're going to add in 150 grams of chickpeas that I've drained and rinsed them. Pop them in. We've got 60 grams of rolled oats. And now it says whey protein powder, vanilla. I've got a tasteless protein powder, so I'm going to give that a try. 80 grams, pop that in. And tick off, and because it's not vanilla, I'm just going to add in a little squirt of vanilla extract because I can, and milk. Just let me grab that one. Now it says full cream milk, but I've only got light, and that is okay. So I'll just tear back to 0. Oh, hang on, go back in here, back to 0. Tear it off. 120 grams. Okay, the automatic tick is ticking that one off, and we'll go next. So 10 seconds on speed 4, just to bring that all together. Press play. Okay, scrape down the sides. Grab my spatula. And next, it says add in 60 grams of the reserved peanuts, so we'll add in 60 grams. Oh, a little bit extra, that's okay. Tick them off. Mix for another 5 seconds, reverse speed 3. Press play. I love how much quieter the TM7 is when you hear it mixing at those low speeds. Okay, now it says to transfer to a separate bowl, but I'll just quickly show you what I've made here. So that's the filling, the peanut butter and peanut and oats. And yeah, it says transfer to another bowl, but I'm actually just going to leave it in the jug. I'll just scrape down the sides here. And I'm just going to set that aside. And what I'm going to do, it says here, clean and dry the mixing bowl. So what I think when it comes to melting chocolate, one, chocolate's super expensive, so you don't want to have any fails, you don't want it seizing. And the slightest bit of moisture in your bowl can cause it to seize or like clump and be a bit of a fail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my second bowl, which is super dry. It's out of the dishwasher and there is no water in there. So we're just going to swap bowls over and continue. Okay, so I want 300 grams. It says dark chocolate. I've got milk. We'll go with milk. There we go. A little bit over, but you know, it's chocolate. And we'll go next. 5 seconds, speed 7. We're just going to give that a quick chop. Remember my cleaning. And play. Okay, so that has chopped up our chocolate. I'm going to grab a clean spatula and I'll just show you that. So you can see just a few seconds of chopping, you get a beautiful finely chopped up chocolate, easier to melt, quicker. Scrape down the sides, give it a quick little stir, and now we're going to melt. So melting the chocolate is super easy in your Thermomix. 5 minutes, 50 degrees, speed 2, press play. That's going to have that temperature set beautifully. You don't have to worry about it, you know, getting too hot. Now the beauty of the second bowl at the moment is it is a purchase offer. So when you do decide to put a Thermomix on your bench, if you do it now before the 31st of March, you've got the opportunity to add the second bowl for $199. So recommended retail is $4.29. So that's a huge saving, and having those 2 jugs makes it easier for doing recipes like this where you don't have to worry about cleaning the bowl out, making sure it's dry. It is already super dry. And then don't forget, if you already have a TM7 and you would love that second bowl, we do have an offer for you guys where if you book your demo in April, from the 1st to 30th of April, you'll have the opportunity to get a second bowl as a host reward. So everyone has the opportunity at the moment to get that extra bowl, which is super exciting. So while that melts, I will just tidy up my bits and pieces and I'll get my nester ready to go for the second part.
Now that our chocolate's perfectly melted, we're going to use 2/3 of it in our nester and brushing up to the edges to create these little cups. They're going to go into the freezer to chill, and then we're going to fill with the filling, the protein filling, and then top with chocolate. Have a think about what you might cook with your 2 bowls. What would be something that you would be able to use 2 bowls for? To finish off, I'm going to make a hot chocolate using the leftover chocolate in the bowl. For more handy tips, be sure to book your demo with your consultant.
Oh, lovely. I love seeing Kimberley's cooking and all those tips. Kimberley is actually at a Thermomix demo with one of her customers tonight. So she's whipped up that video for us today. So hopefully you guys got some great tips from her video as well, and melting that chocolate perfectly in your Thermomix with a nice clean bowl, or get your second bowl out if it's already clean. Now, I'd love to hear if there's something that you've been inspired by that you're going to save money with your Thermomix. Pop it in the chat. We'd also love to continue that conversation on our Facebook group, like I mentioned, and I will email you that link. You can look it up as well. If you look up Central Connection Community Hub, you should be able to find it and you can join us there. Now I'm going to have a look at some of the things that have finished cooking. So we'll whip around. First we'll go to Tiff with her zucchini slices. They should be ready by now. Let's take a look. Wow. Are they finished cooking?
Yes, they're finished cooking. I just had to unmute myself. So I've just got them out of the oven. They're golden.
Yum.
Beautiful. And like I said, look how easy they pop out of this mold.
I love that. I love those
straight
molds.
out, and it's just egg. I didn't pre-oil them. It just comes straight out. So that's this one and the
Yum
as well.
I love how Thermomix and the mix shop items just make our life easier. Simple things like that can make it easier to cook things and save money. So thanks, Tiff, for sharing that with us. I should take a little screenshot live. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There you go. It looks so lovely with all those zucchinis there. Let's take a look over at, we will have a look at yours, Tennille, next, I reckon. Is your risotto ready?
Yes, it sure is. I'll just pause I'm just doing a pre-clean of my risotto. So here is the thermal server with my delicious risotto. As you can see the steam just still coming out, and that risotto nice and thick, like I'm literally tipping on its side and it's not falling out, which is wonderful.
Delicious, cheesy, tomatoey goodness. So easy.
Cheesy tomato goodness. So easy, so cost effective. And yeah, you can, another way also to save money, I often actually do my own shredded chicken in the Varoma. I steam it and then I shred it, obviously. And so I often have some of that I need to use that I will just chuck in at the end, stir it through, because risotto is always super hot, guys. So yeah, if it's already cooked, I literally just chuck it in at the end, stir it in, and then we've got some protein in there too.
Yeah, that's such a great tip. Yeah, thank you so much, Tennille, for
No
all your
worries.
gold tonight, and enjoy that with your family.
You will.
Excellent. And Morgan, we'll see your progress, shall we? How many have you coded up now? Oh, yum.
Yeah, we're all
Oh,
done.
wow. Already, that was quick. Fantastic.
I'm going to pop them back into the container now, and the kids will
Yep,
grab them out each morning for their lunch boxes.
fabulous.
Yeah,
And you could chuck it in the freezer. I used to keep rolls in the brioche buns, actually, cut in half. I'd keep them in the freezer, grab them out for my daughter, and fill it with some fillings, and it would be defrosted at lunchtime. So yeah, really handy. Lovely. Now, thank you, everybody. Jamie, would you have some final words for us, or you've finished your dinner? What flavour soup did you make?
Sorry, couldn't find my unmute. I made a chorizo vegetable and barley soup last night. I had some chorizo that needed to be used, and it is just so yummy. It's almost like a stew. It's a really thick, hearty soup because my husband's not a huge fan of soup for dinner.
Yeah.
But my rolls are still doing their thing, so I'm just accidentally having to eat one of these little ones that I made earlier today. They're
Fabulous.
super, super yummy, super fluffy. I just wanted to also talk about the trays that Tiff's using. I love that they are silicone, but I also love more that they are lined. So instead of having to put them on another tray, to put them in the oven, whereas other silicone stuff like you get from Kmart's really floppy.
Actually, they can go on top.
These ones are lined, so they're beautiful. I have
I'm not reading
I think 3 or 4 of each of them in my house because they are just the best. They
So
hold their shape,
handy.
they wash nicely, just amazing. So
So you save money again by
save
buying
so much, and you don't need
quality.
the liners. You're not needing liners to
Yep,
fill them. You're not needing to spray oil,
love
anything
that.
like that. They are absolutely beautiful. Highly recommend those if you're going to treat yourself at our mix shop. So
I love that. And
beautiful.
make sure you pop your consultant's name
Yeah,
when you buy
name at the
things.
checkout. And it's Mother's Day coming up. Treat yourself. Treat yourself to a Thermomix or treat yourself to a second bowl. Have a demo with some girlfriends. All the mums need to be pampered. So
I
I love
love
it.
that. That's right. So contact your consultant, let them know you came along and you'd love to make the most of your Thermomix and save money. And yeah, grab yourself a free thermo server by introducing 2 people along to your demo, 2 people from different households, and you can share the love, pay it forward to them, and let them have the opportunity to see Thermomix like you have. And they could have fun cooking as well. Now, on the screen here, you can see it is an old graphic. I can see a TM5 cook key in the corner, but I thought I'd just pull this up. I was having a little look at what resources I had, but here's some ideas on money saving and time saving with Thermomix as well. So you might get a couple of ideas there. I'll pop that in our Facebook group as well, which we will be focusing on saving time and money. I hope everyone has enjoyed their time with us tonight, and we will be doing more sessions in future weeks. Now, I think we've pretty much covered all the other graphics that I was going to share. We've already covered several times, but if you didn't hear, we do have beautiful host reward options, as well as in the month of March, we do have the second bowl offer. So if you're wanting a TM7, you've been waiting for the best deal ever, that might be something that you want to talk to your consultant about as well. So stay safe and stay happy and eating yummy food and saving money with your Thermomix. And we will see you next time. Tiff, did you have something to say? No, you're eating.
Say good night.
Good
Enjoy.
night.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, ladies, for your presentations. We only came up with this like 2 days ago, so everyone just pulled their presentation up in 2 days. So very well done, everybody, and you gave us a great show tonight. Lots of learning.
And I've been inspired. I'm going to cook the other dishes. I think they all looked amazing. That's one of the reasons I became a consultant, was for the education and keep on learning, and jumping on a Zoom virtual demo like this tonight always inspires me to try the other dishes. So thank you, ladies, for choosing such awesome treats to share with us.
Yeah, I love that. That's one of my favorite things to do as well, is presenting and getting re-inspired every time we cook together. Fabulous. All right, have a great night, everyone. I'm going to press stop here.